All right, so picture this. You're running a seed stage startup, and you land the deal. The absolute dream scenario. A massive, game-changing customer. The logo is huge, the check is even bigger, and it seriously feels like you finally made it. But what if that dream deal is actually a trap in disguise? Let's break down how this happens, and more importantly, how you can avoid it. And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. This isn't just a big win, it's a loud one. It's so loud that it can literally drown out everything else. Your vision, your other customers, your entire plan for scalable growth. Before you even know it, this one deal has grabbed the steering wheel and is taking your company in a totally new direction. You know, for a young company, a deal this big feels like pure oxygen. It's validation, it's survival, it's that runway you desperately need. The thing is, when you're desperate for oxygen, you're not exactly thinking straight. The deal itself, the sheer gravity of it, starts making your decisions for you, pulling your whole strategy into its orbit without you even noticing. So, on the surface, everything looks amazing. Revenue is way up, you've got this incredible marquee customer to show off. But to really understand what's going on, we've got to look deeper. We need to take a kind of X-ray of the company to see the stress fractures that this big win is creating just beneath the surface. And this is what that X-ray shows us. A roadmap hijack. See, your product roadmap is supposed to be your path to serving hundreds, maybe thousands of customers. But now, it's completely chained to the custom one-off needs of just one. Every single development decision becomes a reaction, and that just kills any hope you had of building a scalable product for the wider market. And this hijack comes with a cost that is so much bigger than the dollars on that contract. You're making a trade, whether you realize it or not. You're getting a huge injection of short-term cash, sure, but you're paying for it with the long-term integrity of your product. And this trade, it introduces a really dangerous hidden cost. We call that hidden cost core drift. It's this slow, almost invisible shift away from your original mission. Feature by feature, customer quest by customer quest, you just drift further and further away from your ideal customer. Until one day, you look up and realize your entire team is basically building for an audience of one. And this just lays out that dangerous trade-off perfectly. The promise was so simple, a famous logo and a ton of cash. But the reality, it's a total nightmare. Your original users, the ones who believed in you from the start, they feel completely alienated. Your code is becoming a tangled mess of one-off hacks. And maybe worst of all, your team is just confused. They don't know who they're building for anymore or why. You can feel this confusion and frustration just building up. Meetings get tense. Engineers are starting to push back on these bizarre feature requests that make zero sense for anyone else. There's this growing feeling that, yeah, the revenue number looks great, but something is fundamentally broken. And this is the breaking point, the snap that leads to a real moment of clarity. And it all comes down to this one simple question. Someone finally says it out loud in a meeting and the whole room just goes silent. Wait a second. Who is this actually for? This question just cuts through all the noise. It forces everyone to confront the core drift head on. And that right there, that's the catalyst for change. Now, the answer here isn't to just try harder or be more disciplined. Nope. The hijack happened because the system you had in place allowed it to happen. So the fix has to be systemic, too. It's time to install some guardrails to protect that roadmap for good. This fix is what we call a team patch, and it's built around something called ICP Guardrails. ICP just stands for your ideal customer profile. Think of these not as rigid walls, but as really clear rules that define who you build for. And crucially, they make any exceptions to those rules transparent and really expensive, forcing a real conversation about the trade-offs before you just dive in. So how do you build them? It's actually pretty straightforward. First, you get crystal clear about who your ideal customer is. Be relentless about it. Second, you create explicit, non-negotiable rules for how and why the roadmap can be changed. And third, if a customer who is not your ideal customer wants a custom feature, that request comes with a very clear price tag, not just in money, but in engineering time and strategic focus. And wow, once these guardrails are in place, the transformation is almost immediate. The chains of that one big deal are finally broken. The team is no longer just reacting to a single customer's every whim. Instead, they are proactively building a product that delivers repeatable value to a scalable market. The path forward is finally clear. I mean, just look at the contrast here. It's night and day. Before this patch, the roadmap was chained, the team was totally confused, and any growth you had was fragile. But after implementing these guardrails, the roadmap is focused, the team is aligned, and growth becomes scalable and predictable. It's a complete operational turnaround. And this is so important to understand. This kind of situation is almost never about bad intentions. The sales team wasn't wrong for chasing a huge deal. The engineers weren't wrong for building what they were asked to build. The problem wasn't the people. It was the lack of a system designed to protect the company's long-term vision. And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. When things go wrong, especially in a high-pressure startup environment, our first instinct is often to blame people. But the most resilient and successful companies know that the most powerful fix isn't changing the people, it's improving the system they all operate in. Because at the end of the day, it's not a people problem, it's a system problem.